Hello friends, this is Adam here with a video tutorial on how to use the new ministry partnership pipeline that I've developed. My hope is that this will be a blessing to you as you do your MPD. So let's get to it. Our first tab here is the dashboard, and you can see it's pretty empty right now. That'll get filled in as we move along. But this is going to be your home base. You can see what work has been done and what work still needs to be done. I also want to show you down here at the bottom that there are multiple tabs. You can fit multiple staff on this document. So if you want to use it as an individual, you certainly can, but if you want to do team MPD for your staff team, then you can do that as well. There's also tabs here for a campus fund if you have a campus fund right now. So we're going to head to the Pledges tab, and you can see that there isn't a whole lot on here, but where in this cell where it says FD goal, I want you to put your budget, whatever your budget is for the year. So let's pretend that the budget is $48,000, and there you see that a few cells have been populated. Over here where it says escrow deficit, I want you in this cell to input your escrow or deficit amount according to what is on the staff portal. If you're unsure of what this amount is, contact your supervisor. So if you're running an escrow, you put a positive number. If you're running a deficit, then you put a negative number. So let's pretend that you are running an escrow of $2,000, and you put that in there, and you can see now that it says that you have $2,000 in there. If we go back to the dashboard, what we can see is that now our pie chart is filled in because that's our budget, and we haven't raised, no money has been pledged yet, so that's still at 0. But if we go down here, it says our escrow is $2,000. You add that to the 0% that is our pledged percentage, and our true percentage, or our total percentage, is 4.17%. So it just kind of gives you a sense of where you are financially. Now to get started, what you should do is you go back to the Pledges tab and input all of your ministry partners line by line, name by name, with the amount and the frequency per year, and then that number here, the percentage pledged, will go up to reflect what your current percentage pledged actually is. So in frequency per year, if they're giving annually, you put a 1. If they're giving quarterly, you put a 4. If they're giving monthly, you put a 12, or whatever the number is, and that'll allow you to be able to get an accurate count. So for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to input here past partners, and let's suppose that you have 30,000 already pledged, and we'll put a 1 there because we don't want that to multiply. And you can see now that you're at 62.5% pledged, 30,000 out of 48,000. You still have 18,000 left to raise. If we go back to our dashboard here, what we can see is that now the blue area is what has been raised, the red area is what still needs to be raised, and there are percentages there. 62% funded with 37.5 left to raise. And when you include our escrow of $2,000, then our true percentage is 66% or 67%. So that's how the Pledges tab works together with your dashboard. From there, we're going to go to our PPL. And our PPL is just like the PPL that we normally do. It's just in Google Doc form. So we'll put your last name here, first name, and our 3 tabs are relationship, vision, and capacity. So for relationship, you're going to use a 1 to 3 scale, 1 being no relationship or someone who's a referral. 2 would be an acquaintance or friend, and then a 3 would be a close friend or family. For vision, again, a 1 to 3 scale. They have little to no experience with InterVarsity or missions. I'll change that so that that's not a typo. A 2 would be some experience with InterVarsity or missions, and then 3 would be much experience with InterVarsity and missions. And then if we go to our capacity scale here, what we see is from 1 to 3 again. Our best guess is they give somewhere between $0 and $25 a month. A 2 would be somewhere between $26 and $100 a month, and a 3 would be more than $100 a month, and has a history of giving, not necessarily to InterVarsity. So again, these are all your best guesses. This is not a value statement saying one person is better than another, just an honest assessment of where our ministry partners are. In the totals tab here, that will automatically populate as you put a 1, 2, or 3 in each of the columns, and then you can put all of their contact information here, or as much as you have. So let's pretend we'll use our Regional Director Kathy Haug here, and we'll say she is a 3, and her vision is a 3, and her capacity is a 3 because she's making that RD money, and you can see she's a 9 here in the total. So, and you can input again as many people as you want. The more people you have in here, the better. This is the identify portion of the MPD cycles. You want to identify those people. So after you've put them into the PPL and you want to move them into the pipeline and engage with them, then you go to the next tab here, which is the pipeline tab. And this is, my hope is that this will be a visual representation so you can very quickly and easily see what has been done and what needs to be done. So let's suppose that we are going to enter our RD into the system here, and engagement number 1 is when you first send them an announcement letter, whether it be through email or a Facebook message or a text or snail mail, which is the best way to do that. So let's suppose that on the 1st of the year is when you send out that letter, and you do a paper letter. So you would, from the drop-down menu, go letter, and you would see that those are red right there. The big thing is all you need to be doing is looking for the red, and that will tell you what was done last and what you need to do next then. So you send the letter on the 1st, it takes a couple days to get there, and you decide that you're going to call a week later on the 8th. So on the 8th of January, you are going to call. By phone. And so you see here that engage 1 has gone green. That means that you are past that step. Engage 2 is now red. And so the next time that you look and see what's the last thing that I did with Kathy, you can see that engage 2 was like to follow up. The letter has already been sent, and now you need to set up the appointment. Now here in engage 2, with these two columns E and F, this will be changing depending on how many times it takes to get a hold of the person in your pipeline. So let's suppose that I call Kathy and on the 8th and I don't get any answer from her, and so I leave a voicemail, say I'll call again in a couple days. So on the 10th I call again, so I'll change that date from 1/8 to 1/10, but still by phone. Let's suppose I don't get an answer again, and so I'm just going to happen to see her at church or at a regional function or something like that, and so I follow up with her in person on the 13th. And so that date is just going to continue to change until you set up an appointment date. Let's suppose that on the 13th I get the appointment with Kathy. She says, oh yeah, so sorry I didn't get a chance to respond to your phone calls, but let's totally meet. And you guys set an appointment for the 17th of January. At that point you see again, the engagement 2 has gone green. You don't need to worry about it. All you know is that you have an appointment on the 17th. And so the next time you look at this pipeline, you say, what's the next thing I have with Kathy? Oh, it's an appointment coming up on the 17th. So it's January 17th and you have done your meeting and things go great. She says, absolutely, we want to partner. We're just not entirely sure how. Give me a couple days to think about it with Chris and talk to the family and whatnot. You say, sure, no problem. That's when you get into follow-up. And so follow-up could happen the very same day. If they know what they want to do, how they want to partner, and they know and you're just showing them how to do that. But if it takes a couple days because they need to talk about it or there are decisions that need to be made, then the next tab is going to be your follow-up tab. So when do you talk to them? And she says, give me 2 days to talk about it. And you decide, sure, no problem. I'll give you 2 days to talk about it. On the 19th, you give her a call. Or you shoot her a text message, and then you see again, oh, this is the last thing that I did was I texted her on the 19th. And again, this tab or this column can change depending on how many times it takes to get a confirmation. So you text her and she says, I still need a little bit more time. Can you give me another week? Sure, no problem. I'll check back in on the 25th. Great. And at this point, you get a confirmation. She says, yes, I want to give. Yes, I want to serve with InterVarsity. I want to volunteer in some way. That's great. And so you send her the link on how to give to your account, and you get her plugged into your volunteering listserv. At this point, when you confirm, is when you know that a gift, especially if they're going to be giving financially, that a gift has actually been received. Okay, so if they say they want to give, and so you send them the link, but you check back on your PTRs as they're coming in your emails, and you're seeing that she hasn't given, don't put a confirmation date yet. Wait until a gift has actually been received, and you're still in the follow-up phase of things. So if she says on the 25th, yes, I totally want to give, we're going to give this amount, and you send her the link, but then you check a month later and you realize that a gift hasn't come in, then you still need to do some of that follow-up. So let's suppose that things just got kind of crazy for her, and so next month you check in again and you say, hey, you just want to check and see if you're still interested in giving. Oh yes, I'm so sorry, let me set that up right now. She starts giving, and then you get a gift received on the 26th. At that point, you've confirmed it. Once the gift has been received, you send your thank you note, your thank you card, and we'll say that happened right away. And now the whole line has gone green, and you can see that she has gone through an entire MPD cycle. The key here is that we want you to, as quickly as possible, be able to see what is the last thing that I have done with someone, and so I know what the next step is. So we're hoping that the colors and the visualization will be able to help you. Over here in column P are notes that you would need. So if you, for example, she says, hey, things are really busy this month, please call me again on March 1st or whatever the case may be. You can make a note there so that you're not worried about when's the last time I called. Do I need to call her again? Did she say something about not calling her for a while? I don't remember. You write that down. Or if there are any other significant notes to make. Here in columns L, M, N, and O, put a 1 for whatever the person decides to do. So Kathy decides that she is going to give and she's going to serve. I put a 1 in both of those places. And if we go back to our dashboard, what we see is that the second graph now has a 1 for volunteers and a 1 for financial partnership. And my hope is that over the course of the year, as you gain more and more financial partners and more advocates and more prayer partners and that sort of thing, that this graph will be an encouragement. You can see, wow, look at all the things, look at all the progress that has been made. So that's how the pipeline works. From there, we go to pledges, back to the pledges tab, and we say, okay, she decided she was going to give financially, partner with us financially, and she's going to be giving $50 a month. So we write her name in here. Kathy is going to be $50 once a month, so 12 times a year. So you put 12 there, and you see it populates to $600. The 0% has now changed to $30,600. The percentage has changed, and if we go to our dashboard, you can also see that those numbers have all changed as well. The most important thing in using this document is that you keep up with your dates. And so just remember, anytime you have an interaction with one of your ministry partners, write it down, put it in the pipeline, and that will allow you to stay on top of things. You won't have to worry about remembering what was the last thing that I did, because it will all be in the document. My hope is that this will be something that will serve the region well, serve you well in your MPD. Blessings on that. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me or ask your supervisor. Thanks, guys.